Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Sunday, October the 22nd. Race number 7 at Keeneland. It's the Grade 3 Dowager for fillies and mares. We're going a mile and a half, 3 turns around the Keeneland turf course. And as we take a look at this field, Vergara is your deserving 9-5 morning line favorite, Mike. She's been rock solid her entire career, this millionaire for trainer Graham Motion, and comes off a graded stakes win at one of her favorite tracks, Kentucky Downs.
Yeah, I do think she's the right favorite in this race, Dan. I don't think she has, a huge edge on this field, but overall, she's just really consistent. It feels like she really appreciates distance, and I just feel like she's a really nice fit in this race. She's the horse to beat.
We'll throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this marathon. The 4B Up is taking a step up in class. Only 3 starts ago, she was running for $25,000, but it's a Michael Maker trainee going a mile and a half. This horse stretched out nicely to a mile and a quarter last time out, and if they leave her alone, maybe she takes this field a long way.
Yeah, the pace is one of the things that makes her of interest in here, Dan. It's kind of, other than that and the fact that it's Maker, taking over and stretching her out again, it's kind of hard to make a strong case for her just based on her past performances. But it's all the intangibles that I think you like about this horse.
How far does the number 1 Henrietta Topham want to go? Because they're going to be stretching her all the way out for the first time in her career. Now, last time out, she ran at Kentucky Downs. We've seen horses at Kentucky Downs not really fire their best shot. You can draw a line through that race. She had some traffic issues 2 starts back. I wish I liked to race at Indiana Grand a little better 3 back.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with all that stuff. I mean, it just feels like she's in a spot here where she's gonna have to run the race of her life, or she's gonna have to do it while stretching out a half a mile, Dan. I mean, there's a lot working against her. I realized that she picked up a grade 3 win earlier this year at Churchill Downs. It's not the kind of race that I don't want to take too much away from her for that performance, but man, did she get a perfect trip in that race.
Up next is a horse making her stakes debut. That's the number 2, Viva La Red. But Viva La Red stretched out last time to a mile and a half, and at least she showed that distance wasn't going to be an issue. She ran a fine second from a tough outside post, but she is going to have to improve. This is a giant step up in class.
Yeah, exactly. She's got to improve again. She did improve last time, so that's a good thing for her, but it's not the kind of effort that's going to give her a real chance against these horses. I'll give her a little credit, Dan, for racing up close in that race, because the horse that won it, who's also back in here, came from way out of it. 3rd place finisher came from way out of it. 4th place finisher came from way out of it. So maybe she was, compromised a little bit as far as trip goes. It's still not fast enough to beat this field.
Here's the multiple stakes winner, Vergara, who has the tactical speed to stay close to the pace, and I expect that to happen again on Sunday. Here's a win in the ladies' marathon, going 10.5 furlongs at Kentucky Downs. She stayed close to a moderate pace. She was down on the inside. She made her move at just the right time, and she'll hold off a 3-wide transient who's also back in this field.
Yeah, they both ran well in this race, and they're going to finish relatively close together at the end. It's Vergara, who's just a little bit better in here, Dan. Again, I don't really have that much to say about her. She's just a rock-solid horse. She fits really well in here. She's going to get another good trip because she likes to race up close, but she doesn't need the early lead. I mean, it's just really hard to knock her. I don't think she's any kind of superstar.
Here's the Maker trainee, a daughter of Temple City, named B Up, scoring a second-level allowance over yielding ground at Belmont, going a mile and a quarter. And in this race, she got right up close to a moderate pace, and she's going to grind her way down to the finish. And it looks like Maker's found a horse with stamina again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he finds the right ones to stretch out in distance. He stretched this one out for her last 2 starts. You could argue that they're the 2 best races of her life, Dan. She gets the job done here. It's not a performance that she can just, come back and show up with against this field. She's got to run better than that, but maybe she'll do it.
Personal best, the number 5. We know on her personal best, she can win a race like this. I think the main question is she as good off this recent layoff as the personal best that we saw earlier this year and late in 2022? Because I haven't been thrilled with her last 2 starts. Maybe you can simply make the excuse, Kentucky Downs last time out, layoff before.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's maybe a very valid way to look at her, too. And I was tempted to do that, Dan. I did like some of her races earlier this year down at Gulfstream. I don't really like anything that she's done since then, even though, listen, she was in against Warlike Goddess 3 starts back. They tried to go shorter with her off the layoff. I don't know. There are ways to dress her up a little bit, I guess, if you want to. I had a tough time talking myself into her, and she's going to be in that, 7-2, 4-1 range. I don't think it's enough.
I think you can make a case for the 6, Romagna Mia. She's a stout filly who is a Group 1 winner in Italy, Group 2 winner in Italy. Her last race, however, was her first start in North America. It was the Beverly D, and it was a race where she chased outside in a slow-paced affair, won by a good horse in gate-to-wire fashion, Fev Rover. Just things didn't work out for her in that start. It was Graham Motion who gave her a freshening. He's great off layoffs.
Yeah, I can see using this horse somewhere in this race, Dan. We'll see, how good she turns out to be. And I think it's a fair question to ask because, as you mentioned, she's a Group 2 winner in Italy. They took her to France earlier this year to run her against some better horses, and she really was not competitive in those races. She ran fine last time. She was wide around the track. She was a no-threat third, but the 1-2 finishers of that race are both really good.
The 7 is Loved Ryko. This is a daughter of Tappet going out for Rusty Arnold and stepping up out of the allowance ranks. This horse made a big move last time out from last to first and kept on going a mile and a half. Now, she did that against allowance horses. Whether she can do it against the Vergaras of the world, that's a different story.
It's a nice class test for her. They're probably, giving her that test at the right time. I thought she looked good winning the most recent start, Dan. Boy, could she be really compromised in here by her running style, though. She does not have any early speed.
Lovely Princess, the number 8's also cross-entered in an allowance race at Keeneland on Saturday. If she does go here, she brings an intriguing amount of tactical speed, plus class, plus consistency. It seems she always runs well. Will she run as well, stretching all the way out?
Yeah, I think she sort of showed 3 starts back that she can handle this distance, Dan. Second, going a mile and a half in the Kirtana, and just by looking, you don't even have to watch the race if you don't want to. You see the horse that won it, Miss Yearwood. You know where she came from. She came from a million out of it to run this horse down at the end. This horse's form since then is good. Leading up to it is good. She was really good winning an allowance race here last October where she beat 2 of these horses. She beat them fair and square from off the pace. She's getting good at the right time.
We saw Transient in the Vergara video grind on for second down at Kentucky Downs. I think she's coming into this race the right way, third off the layoff. She had some trouble against graded competition in the very one at Gulfstream earlier this year. Safi Joseph, I think, has taken just incremental steps with her. A synthetic race off the layoff, then the Kentucky Downs race, and now he's putting her in a race here where maybe she'll need a little bit of pace, but I think she actually could do better over a more conventional race course.
I can't really argue with any of that. I think she's a really good fit in this race, and I don't really have any serious knocks on her, save the fact that she's probably going to be a relatively short price. And I would just say you have the race against Vergara last time where it looks close on paper, but we saw the replay. It wasn't really that close. She never looked like she was going to win. Same thing with that grade 3 against Personal Best at Gulfstream earlier this year. It's close at the end. To me, Personal Best was much the best in that race.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. It's top pick time for Sunday's Dowager. I did like Transient a little bit better than Mike. Again, it's her third start of the form cycle. I think she's rounding back into her best, but she is going to need a little bit of a trip and pace. Lovely Princess has way more tactical speed than my top pick. She showed she could handle the distance 3 back, and she figures in the thick of things when they turn for home.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. We'll see if they decide to run here. I think it would be smart for them to give her a shot in this race, Dan, because I don't think she's overmatched by these horses. I got the 2 favorites, second and third, and I'm not like way against them in here, but I don't love them either. I didn't really want to take short prices on them.
Same super different order. Mike's going 8-3-9-6. I'm going 9-3-8-6. And Sunday's race of the day, the Dowager at Keeneland. Best of luck.